El Niño is a climate pattern that originates in the Pacific Ocean and brings with it significant changes in weather. Known for their disruptive effects, El Niño events are currently causing Zimbabwe to grapple with a severe drought linked to the 2023 event. With rainfall scarce, rivers and reservoirs are running dry, leading to profound implications for a country where people depend on rain-fed agriculture. This drought has placed immense stress on Zimbabwe's resources and exacerbated existing social and economic vulnerabilities. The situation calls for immediate attention, as the world must understand the impact of this climate-induced crisis and address the urgent needs of the Zimbabwean people. The current drought is not an isolated event. Zimbabwe has a history of droughts, which are increasing in frequency and intensity. This trend aligns with climate change predictions that rising global temperatures will make such extreme weather events more common. The situation in Zimbabwe serves as a stark reminder of the global nature of climate change and underscores the urgent need for collective action to mitigate its impacts. Zimbabwe's plight offers a glimpse into a future that could affect many other nations. In Zimbabwe, water scarcity has triggered a public health crisis. The lack of clean water is directly linked to a cholera outbreak, a waterborne disease that spreads rapidly in areas with poor sanitation. The current drought has created an ideal environment for the disease to thrive. Cholera is a serious threat. It causes severe diarrhea and dehydration, and without prompt treatment, it can be fatal. The outbreak has affected numerous districts and has strained the already stretched healthcare system. The combination of drought and disease has created a vicious cycle, trapping communities in a desperate struggle for survival. The link between water scarcity and cholera outbreaks is a well-documented phenomenon. When clean water is scarce, people are often forced to rely on contaminated sources, which can harbor the bacteria that cause cholera. This underscores the critical importance of access to safe water and sanitation, fundamental human rights essential for public health. The water crisis in Zimbabwe extends beyond the cholera outbreak and poses a broader threat to public health. Water scarcity affects hygiene, impacts sanitation, and increases the risk of various waterborne diseases, including typhoid, dysentery, and other gastrointestinal infections. The most vulnerable populations, children, the elderly, and people with underlying health conditions, are hit the hardest. They are more susceptible to the effects of dehydration and disease. The situation is particularly dire in rural areas, which often lack adequate water infrastructure and healthcare facilities. The strain on Zimbabwe's healthcare system is immense, with hospitals and clinics struggling to cope with the influx of patients. There is a shortage of medical supplies and clean water for treatment. This crisis highlights the fragility of healthcare systems in the face of climate-induced disasters and emphasizes the need for resilient infrastructure and preparedness for such events. Section 4. Withered fields, empty stomachs, the plight of Zimbabwe's farmers. Zimbabwe's agricultural sector is heavily reliant on rainfall. The El Niño-induced drought has devastated crop production. Fields are parched and barren. Harvests have failed. This has resulted in widespread food insecurity. Millions of Zimbabweans are facing hunger. The drought has had a particularly devastating impact on livestock. Water scarcity has led to a shortage of grazing pastures. Many animals have perished due to thirst and starvation. This has had a catastrophic effect on farming communities. These communities often rely on livestock for their livelihoods. Farmers are being forced to make difficult choices. Many are resorting to distressed sales of their remaining livestock. They are selling their animals at significantly reduced prices. This is an attempt to salvage some income. However, it further depletes their assets and jeopardizes their future. The collapse of the agricultural sector has far-reaching consequences for Zimbabwe's economy, exacerbating poverty and unemployment.